Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Kickstarter is moving its crowdfunding platform to blockchain, and comic book creators are flipping out.
Why are they flipping out?
Because they don't like blockchain. They think it hurts the environment. And it's kind of like they don't fully understand what it does, but it has something to do with NFTs and crypto, and those things are bad.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we're going to talk about that. What this probably means is going to happen in the future with Kickstarter. And if you're a person who does like to do pre-sales through crowdfunding, and you're tired of Kickstarter as a platform, as a website, this might be good news, because it sounds to me like they're going to let you kind of rent out that technology for your own website.
See, I would think people would be mad about it would be like the people at the Kickstarter union that wanted to say which projects couldn't be put on there, because this kind of allows people to take it and use it on their campaigns.
Yeah, I think they're going to be salty about this, if there are any of them left, because remember, Kickstarter said they weren't doing that well. They let a bunch of these people go, including Camilla Zhang, the comic book outreach lead. Hey, Kickstarter, oh yeah, guys, we're so broke. We're so broke because of the pandemic. And then as soon as they were out the door, like, hey, yeah, we had the best year ever.
I know.
Psych. Psych. So we're going to talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 245,000 subs. Thank you for the support. We do talk about comics. We talk about comic books. We've actually published our own comics, and we're going to be publishing more comics next year. And we have to think long and hard about using Kickstarter, because in the last couple of years, Kickstarter has decided it wants to be a gatekeeper. There are certain people at Kickstarter that if you, and I don't know if we in particular are in any kind of trouble, but there have been many instances where people have tried to take their project to Kickstarter, and it wasn't the project that was verboten, it was the creator that was verboten.
Well, it's funny to me because we aren't that bad. We're pretty
we're not.
middle of the road, like we've been, for years.
And that makes you an alt-right Yahtzee.
Apparently.
Yes. Just being center makes you alt-right in current year. So anyway, yeah, it used to be like, yeah, Kickstarter's okay, but now we have to think long and hard about it. Last reprint campaign, we actually used Indiegogo. And, so far, they haven't been as censor happy as Kickstarter has been. But, there are other options out there. If you're not happy with any of the crowdfunding platforms, you can even use Shopify and use a plugin, and you can do crowdfunding yourself. And if you read between the lines of what Kickstarter is actually saying, I know everybody's losing their shit about the platform, Kickstarter.com, but this sounds to me like it's going to be like WordPress, where, yeah, you can host a site on the WordPress website, or you can create your own website and use their technology to run your website. This sounds like Kickstarter is going to basically lease its technology, its crowdfunding technology, and you can go create your own crowdfunding platform.
Which is actually smart.
So they're going to have their cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
Because they could be like, on Kickstarter.com, we won't allow these kinds of projects because, these creators might be problematic or whatever. But hey guys, if you meet me out back, I will let you have a license for our technology, and you can just go start your own site.
Yeah, but then my next question is, if you don't let someone on there because you label them, even if it's unfairly, why the hell would they pay money to give them to use their...
Well, they're creating a whole new company, and I have to wonder if they're not going to white label this. Because basically Kickstarter is like, yeah, we got something here. And everybody's, especially in comics, everybody's trying to start their own crowdfunding websites for comics. Was that Zuper?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Spunk or SPAC or whatever it's called, that comic book crowdfund. That's going to fail miserably, right? Because everybody goes to Kickstarter and Indiegogo now.
You haven't heard anything else about it?
No. And I could totally see another site like that popping up, but using the Kickstarter technology. And then Kickstarter say, well, we just, license out our technology. We have no idea what people do with it.
Well, we can't control that. I don't know. Is that like that Good Luck Charlie meme with the other girl? I don't
know what they're doing with it. I don't know. But, it has it's crypto and blockchain and NFTs and all that stuff means the same thing to these people. It's all bad because the environment or something. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Here's the story. Coming from Bloomberg, Kickstarter will move its crowdfunding platform to blockchain. It's creating a new company to develop and distribute the technology.
Okay, so they're going to make a new company, so it's not going to be called Kickstarter. But it's basically Kickstarter. So shut the people up that are having a fist. They're fisting the people. No, they're having a fit because...
That's what they should call it, kick fist.
Kick fist.
Fist butt.
Because they're having
Fist
a problem about, well, you can't let certain people on the platform. You can't do certain things. So there's like, F you, we're just going to start our own company.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to take the technology and they're going to go out the back door. And this is kind of like Coca-Cola bottling, right? Like they'll sell you the syrup and you go bottle your own Coke. That's what they're doing. You can go start your own crowdfunding platform, but we still get a cut because you're using our technology.
That's right. It's kind of smart.
It's very smart because Kickstarter has become synonymous with crowdfunding. And I think they're starting to see that people are not happy.
It's also become synonymous with, gatekeeping.
Yes. They are also a damaged brand. Now, Kickstarter did blow up last year because, the pandemic, a lot of people, jumped to the platform. But this way, again, they can have their cake and eat it too. Like, fine, we're not going to let your project on the site, or maybe you don't want to use the Kickstarter.com site.
Yeah, you don't want to be associated,
Right, but we'll lend you our technology for a fee. So for more than a decade, Kickstarter, PBC, it's Public Benefits Corporation.
Yeah, it wasn't a public benefits corporation before.
No, it wasn't. It was for profit. And we'll talk about that. They've convinced the public to pay people to follow through on their ideas to build a gadget, make a film, or create a piece of art. It was, in some ways, a harbinger of today's digital economy built around crypto, decentralized organizations, and NFT art. It kind of was. Kickstarter kind of led the charge in all of this. Like you could kickstart a project that was literally just like digital comics or digital art or whatever, On Wednesday, Kickstarter plans to unveil, that would have been this Wednesday, they plan to unveil a project that will merge the two worlds. It's hatching a new company to build a crowdfunding platform, much like Kickstarter's, but based on blockchain technology. When it's ready, Kickstarter will switch its own website to the new system and will make the tools available for anyone to create a competing crowdfunding site. It's WordPress.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can host your site on WordPress, or you can self-host your site, and then you can just pay for in this case, they'll probably charge you, but WordPress, they try to upcharge you when you're hosting your own WordPress site. That's exactly what they want. Kickstarter wants to become synonymous with websites doing crowdfunding, and we see that there is a market for that because even Hasbro's even using it, to crowdfund stuff on their own website. They don't need Kickstarter.
More money for Kickstarter.
Yeah, so you might as well be like, well, we've got the easiest to use system, so why don't you just pay us and use our technology? The new company does not have a name. It won't be Kickstarter.
We gave you some suggestions.
Fist starter. Development is slated to begin the first quarter of next year, and Kickstarter expects to transition its site to the new protocol sometime in 2022. The change will take place entirely behind the scenes and shouldn't affect how people use the site. They said it's a large technical undertaking. Embarking on a project was a big decision. No, I don't think it was. I think they're like, Kickstarter has become synonymous with crowdfunding. Let's bottle it and sell it to other people before they do it themselves, because a lot of people are jumping ship. They're going to Indiegogo.
Yeah, as I say, because Kickstarter is losing a lot of people to other platforms.
Yep. So today, money that might have once gone to Kickstarter campaigns is flowing through blockchains into what are known as distributed autonomous organizations. They're talking about that. Like basically they want a cut of everything, right? The embrace of crypto could help Kickstarter regain some relevance. A raft of startups as well as companies over a century old are searching for ways to decentralize their digital infrastructure. Quite a bit needs to be worked out on Kickstarter's project, as yet to name a leader for the new company.
So we're doing this next year, but we don't have a name. We don't have a leader. That instills confidence right there.
Hasn't chosen a provider yet, but a spokesman said the company is looking at various options that purport to be carbon neutral or carbon negative. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Wait. Very last paragraph. Kickstarter plans to create what it calls a governance lab separate from the existing company and the new one to provide independent governance for the protocol. Hopefully they're not going to be like, well, you can use our technology, but only for the right things.
They probably will, because, or they might not. They're just saying this to shut certain people up. Who the hell knows? Basically, Kickstarter's going to put this big press release out. They're going to do this big thing, which is actually not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea at all.
But they have no name for it. They sometime next year, they have no person leading the project. I'm like, why are you announcing it then?
To get people excited.
Piss all over that.
To piss on it, yeah. So they put the announcement out there, and most of the complaints have come from comic book people.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
You know?
I'm like, shocker.
They're talking that they're going to...
Shannon Garrity's one of them. Oh, surprise.
Yeah, they're talking they're going to boycott Kickstarter now. Shannon Garrity, I've been in Kickstarter from the beginning. That is true. She's been there for a long time. I successfully...
Does anybody care anymore?
I don't know. I successfully funded my 10th campaign last month, bringing the money I've raised through Kickstarter to over $200,000.
In 10 campaigns. Wait. She's had 10 campaigns since the beginning of Kickstarter, and she's bragging about $200,000.
If you go through with this change, that'll be my last campaign. Please don't. Meanwhile, with Boom, remember how they threatened Boom? They threatened Boom too, and Boom made like millions of dollars.
There you go.
You know. Anyway, Jody Hauser, another comic book person, as someone who owes their career to Kickstarter-funded projects and who has backed over 100 Kickstarter campaigns to date, this is incredibly disappointing. I hope you'll listen.
Why? What difference does it make?
Because blockchain, NFTs, and crypto, it's all bad.
I don't think it's that. I think it's because they like the idea of, people they have thumb on people and only let certain people have a voice.
Yes.
And now if you do this, then we can't scream and control it as much as we could before.
They demonized Indiegogo. Okay, Indiegogo used to be okay. It used to be the place you'd go to if you couldn't get your project on Kickstarter for whatever reason. You'd go to Indiegogo, but it was not a place to go for comics. It always was a place for technology, mostly. It was, technology startups and stuff like that. But they demonized anyone who went to Indiegogo instead of Kickstarter, and they were like, even if you're not an alt-right Yahtzee, if you put your project on Indiegogo, you're fraternizing with the alt-right.
Right.
Ooh.
Well, here we got this Parker. You built a solid platform, and now it's plunging into the underworld of speculation.
I'm glad I was part of it when it was legit.
You're a public benefits corporation. This goes against that. Here's the thing, Parker. Kickstarter was not originally a public benefits corporation. That change came only a few years ago, back when we started all this whole, kumbaya, we start people out to have a voice. It needs the benefits. It was mostly when I think publishers decided they were going to try to use crowdfunding to do their books. That's when it switched to.
Yeah, they did. They did, I think, to appease people working there, and they tried to gatekeep it and all that. But here's the thing. It's not sustainable long term because, it used to be like if you were the only game in town, and for the longest time, Kickstarter pretty much was, and Indiegogo was, kind of a distant second. But now, like I said, anybody who has a Shopify store can put a plugin in, you can do crowdfunding through your site.
Webcomics people were doing it before crowdfunding was actually an official thing. I just want to point that out.
Yes. So Kickstarter and Patreon and a lot of these other companies lifted their business models from webcomics creators and podcasters. Before there was a Kickstarter, and this is why you have so many people, including Shannon Garrity, who was a webcomics person, they jumped on it right away because it centralized it. But like before there was Kickstarter, before there was Patreon, people used to do like monthly subscriptions. They'd get the comic early via email. They were setting up their own, even before Substack, they were setting up their own kind of email list and taking payments through PayPal or whatever. And, these website owners were doing it themselves. And then along came Kickstarter and kind of centralized that. But I know people were taking pre-orders for books themselves through PayPal, and they just take a cut.
It's an old thing. I mean, it's nothing new.
Deeply concerned. All the blue checks are deeply concerned. Let's see. I raised 103,000 pounds on your platform since 2014. Thousands of comic readers gained.
Wait.
I guarantee this move will make them abandon my projects by association. No, they won't. This move will hurt businesses like mine, for which there is no other viable route to market.
Well, then maybe
Amazon.
There's no viable route to market. Well, then you know what? Then if you don't have to rely on this. I'm just like, maybe you need to consider something else.
Oh my God, they have a whole article. What's this? Kickstarter pivots to blockchain because 2021 sucks. Let's look at this. Since the announcement, multiple prominent Kickstarter users have said they will crowdfund elsewhere.
$200,000 and 10 campaigns over the course of 12 years, whatever it is.
So I am deeply concerned because I'm afraid they're gonna go to Indiegogo now.
I was thinking it.
And
they're gonna go ruin that.
Yeah, they're gonna try. Yeah. They're already. Look, there were some. Indiegogo joined that one group that was gonna make sure that. But my understanding of that watchdog group or whatever was that these people that are raising millions of dollars actually follow through or have the ability to manufacture the stuff that they're pitching. I could. So is Indiegogo going to be completely cool now? Is it going to be okay to put your comics on Indiegogo now? Are you going to be an alt-right Nazi if you put your comics on Indiegogo?
The bigger question is, does anybody care?
You're still going to sell the same amount of books.
They're going to label you no matter what you do.
Yeah. So now if they, quote unquote, they all go to Indiegogo, they are going to find a way to gatekeep that. And then what's going to happen, right? All the people that were on Indiegogo, they're going to actually pay to license the Kickstarter technology, and they're going to go start their own website or websites, individual websites.
People misconstrue the fact that if you do well, that it's because somehow you got something over them. People do well, whether it be on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, because it's a project people actually want. Maybe if you're not doing so hot, it's because nobody knows who you are or they don't want your project. I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm just saying.
This is going to get really interesting because, they've been trying to gatekeep crowdfunding. And I remember when this whole thing started, Kickstarter, when it started in like 2010, all these publishers were like, it's just e-begging.
Yes.
It's just e-begging. You're not real. Your comic wasn't really published.
And then they all came on there, and then the plebs had a hissy shit fit because how dare you? You're a company. You shouldn't be on here. Crowdfunding. It's taken away from me. It's like them being there probably helped other creators get found and got money because people weren't coming to get back your little indie project anyway. They didn't know you even existed. They might have found you because they were backing something for a big publisher. It wasn't like, because they got backed, you weren't going to get backed. You were probably not going to get backed either way.
You guys didn't bully Boom Studios off of the platform. They actually doubled down and they released Power Rangers and they made a bunch of money off of that too. And you guys aren't going to bully Kickstarter into not making money either because I think they again, the pendulum is swinging back. I've said it in a couple of other videos. It's starting to swing back because these companies are like, oh shit, we actually need to make money.
Yeah, imagine that.
We can't listen to Twitter. We have to make money.
Now Twitter's losing money, so hey.
Yeah, right? Kickstarter has announced plans to pivot to the crowdfunding website into using blockchain, though it has been met with major backlash from a handful of comic book people. This means that Kickstarter's functionality, the ability to crowdfund money, will be made open source and moved to the blockchain. Seemingly aware of criticism surrounding blockchain-related content's negative effect on the environment, the Kickstarter blog states the blockchain will be carbon negative.
Hold on. I want to go here for a minute. They keep going about carbon and negative and all this shit around these things like NFTs and all that. You do know that just sitting on your damn computer all day is not good for the environment, right? You do know breathing technically isn't for the environment. You know that driving your car is not good for the environment. You know those electric cars that you all love so much? They have to mine cobalt for the batteries and a bunch of things. Also, not good for the environment. The windmills and all those take oil and things to run them, and things that are not good for the environment. I just think it's funny because they get so pissed about this. Meanwhile, they do 100 other things that are not good for the environment, but that's okay. But this one isn't.
You know what they should do? They should go off the grid, just like the alt-right.
That's right.
Go live in some shack somewhere.
I'm just like, they're getting so mad about this. And it's like, I'm not saying clearly it's not good for the environment. Okay, I get that. But so are a lot of things that you people do every day, and you don't have a shit fit about that.
The move has proven unpopular for Kickstarter users on Twitter. Nobody gives a shit.
There you go.
Nobody gives a shit. Kickstarter is currently trending on Twitter. In a quick scan. I bet if you look, there were people who said nothing, didn't say anything bad about it. Shows multiple creators have expressed their anger, but creators who, frankly, look, I'm not trying to diss fellow comic book creators, but you're not bringing enough to the table to even be any kind of concern for Kickstarter.
Sorry, $103,000 raised since 2014. I'm just like,
there are Indiegogo campaigns that raise more than that in a day. A day. Okay, there are Kickstarter campaigns. Comics are literally on the priority list at Kickstarter. Comics are so far down because pretty much everything else, movies and tabletop games, video games, technology especially, millions and millions and millions of dollars. With comic books, if you break $100,000, they throw you a freaking parade. Ticker. And they do it all the time on Indiegogo, but you never hear about it because...
it counts when they need up the numbers for comics as a whole industry. Then it counts.
Board game designer Elizabeth Hargrave described blockchain as an environmental disaster, and she would never support a board game Kickstarter that uses it, let alone support the use for my own games.
Well, then don't use it.
Kickstarter has been used for games including Divinity Original Sin 2 and Shenmue 3, and unfortunately, Mighty Number 9. You know, last month, Discord walked back plans for crypto after an announcement caused boycotts. Nobody's going to give a shit. Actually, people are going to look at this and be kind of excited. They're going to be like, wait a minute. We can lease the Kickstarter technology, put it on our own site, not have to deal with your unionized employees that think
or
they
the
should.
people on Twitter.
Or the people on Twitter. We could do it ourselves and it's going to be like white label. I'd be like, hell yeah. How much? Mm-hmm. How much? Because it's easy to use. But again, you can do it yourself right now. Just go to Shopify. And Shopify has actually made statements that they're going to be apolitical. You know, go to Shopify. You can add this app. Oh, I'm sorry, Twitter. You have to pay for it. And that's a problem. You have to pay for it. You have to pay for hosting for your own site. And that's the thing. These people get all ass mad because their free social media becomes a pay-to-play experience. And it's going to be the same with crowdfunding, too. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you always have to pay a percentage, but it was, you know, now you have to pay.
On the back end, but in this
case,
case,
you have to pay up front.
You have to pay up front. How serious are you? How committed to the environment are you? Are you willing to go start your own site, host your own site, and do all the marketing and all that?
Well, the kicker is, if you have a all or nothing campaign and you don't hit your goal, they don't get anything.
Yeah, they take all the risk.
You don't get anything either.
No. So, interesting. I wonder if they'll change that too, because it'll be like a Indiegogo where, you know, you can get part of your funding because they still get paid either way.
We should do something here as a crowdfunder sometime and see what happens.
What, on Shopify? Mm-hmm. I thought about it. I was like, you know, what would happen just theoretically, because we know, you know, we're pushing people to Indiegogo from our channel. If we sent them to our actual store at shopclownfish.com, if we actually sent them to our store, which is run by Shopify, if they would, you know, crowdfund the same numbers they do on Indiegogo, because, you know, it is, you know, sometimes stuff gets recommended, but for the most part, you are responsible for your own marketing, and people are going to go there based on you telling them to go there.
Well, I wasn't thinking so much for books. I was thinking more for like, we want to do a pin or
pins or something. Maybe we should try it. Maybe we should try that. Do it ourselves and see what happens.
I don't know. Maybe
we'll do that. I don't know. Let us know. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.